What is the soul?
The soul is what you are. The soul is not a mythical entity. The soul is a powerful, purposeful essence. It is at the very center of who you are. But do not think that you are the entirety of your soul. A soul is enormous. Your soul existed before you were born, and your soul will exist after you die. You, the Oprah that I am speaking to, I, the Gary that is speaking to you, are personalities. I have a certain psychological structure. I have lessons to learn in my life. I have emotions. I have intuition and cognition. I have all of those things. But all of those things will die. But my soul will not, and neither will yours.
Does my soul know me?
Yes. Yes. Look at it this way. Every fleet of ships that sails has a mothership. One ship that knows where all of them are going and sets the direction for all of those ships to sail. This doesn't mean that the mothership determines what happens on each of the other ships in the fleet. Life on one of the ships might be mostly pleasant. On yet another ship, it might be mostly unpleasant. Now imagine the mothership is the biggest ship you can imagine. It's a city afloat, magnificent. And now imagine that the rest of the boats, the ships, are not really ships, but little boats. The mothership is your soul, and you are one of the little boats. The mothership knows why...
That's a very nice analogy, really.
The mothership knows why you are in the water. You may not know all of the time. The mothership knows why you encounter storms. Your job, while you have the awesome privilege of being a little boat, is to learn how to sail in the same direction as your mothership. Because you can choose and create anything you want. You can sail in the opposite direction if you want. That is a sure way to find rough water. But as you sail in the direction that your mothership wants to sail, your life fills with meaning and purpose and love. You are excited about being alive. You are excited about the people you are with and what you are doing.
Because you're following the mothership.
That's right.
Why is it so hard for us to follow the mothership? That's the thing. I mean, and that thing clicked for me in such a way that to this moment, I still honor that process of where is the mothership headed and where is my little boat in proportion to that mothership. And as I heard some of you give an amen to, when you're going in the opposite direction of the ship, that's when you encounter the roughest waters. So why is it so hard for us not to just stay in flow with the mothership? Yeah.
Fear.
Fear.
If you imagine that your soul has many personalities, and you're one of them, and you are in the earth school, the personality. That's a span between the birth of your personality and the death of your personality.
Right. So this whole universal experience as a dense body, a personality within the body is an earth school, is how you look at it.
I look at it as the entire physical universe.
Okay.
Which personalities, which used to be just 5 sensory, thought extended to infinity.
Right.
But we're becoming multisensory. And now we're beginning to sense that the entire physical universe and everything that occurs to us and that we experience is a learning experience. And it's not the entirety of the universe. And as we become multisensory, and millions of people are, hundreds of millions, we begin to sense. We begin to experience beyond the limitations of the 5 senses. We begin to experience ourselves as more than minds and bodies.
Right.
That's your soul, the more. We begin to experience our lives as more than random. And good luck or bad luck, we begin to experience them as meaningful.
Yeah, and you begin to see that there is nothing happening out of the order and design of your own life.
Yes, every interaction between you and anyone or other people is perfect and offers each individual involved opportunities to grow spiritually that are perfect for that individual, given the wisdom of the choices that that individual has made.
You follow that? Okay, tracking? So he's saying, even if you're in an encounter that feels uncomfortable or that brings anger or disruption, that encounter has happened in your life in order to grow you or provide an opportunity for you to grow to whatever is the next level of your personal evolution. There is nothing happening to you that isn't happening to you to grow you to the next level of your evolution. Even if you're in a terrible relationship or in a job that you don't like. I say to my daughters from South Africa all the time, doing a job you don't like is fantastic information for you, because knowing what you don't want helps lead you to what you do want, correct?
Let's look at the word you. There's a you with a little y.
Yeah.
That's your personality.
Correct.
Now there's a you with a big Y, with
Yes.
a capital Y.
Yeah.
That's your soul.
Right.
So when you say it's always leading you to what you want, we have to clarify, because often it leads you to things that you with a little y do not want.
Okay, so we'll leave little y and big Y.
That's right. So why I'm bringing this out is fear.
Yeah.
Because the things that happen to you, you can say are always perfect, and if they seem terrible, or if they're disruptive, or if they're difficulty, that's because of parts of your personality.
They're afraid.
Correct.
Yeah.
That originate in fear. And those parts we experience, or you experience, as anger, jealousy, resentment, superiority, entitlement, need to please, inferiority, and every obsession, every compulsion, every addiction. These are all experiences of fear. And when you encounter one of those and you say, this is terrible, you know, my little daughter's got cancer, this is terrible. That is a frightened part of your personality. But there are other parts of your personality who would look at that circumstance very differently. And these are the parts of your personality that originate in love.
Yes.
And we experience them as gratitude.
So your daughter has cancer, you have cancer, somebody in your family has a terrible disease or diagnosis. Your fear of losing them, your fear of abandonment, your fear that they won't be here, your fear of that is what causes all of the angst, is what you're saying.
The experiences of a part of your personality that are frightened
Yeah.
is experiencing angst,
Yeah.
or turbulence,
Yes.
or whatever you want to call it, resentment, vengeance. Is not coming from the unchangeable ground of your being.
Right.
It's coming from a part of your personality, and you don't need to be controlled by it.
Correct. If you don't have a spiritual practice, however, and don't know that there is a part of your being that is solid, that is connected to all beings, all things, and grounded from the source of all beings, of all things. If you don't know that, then you become even more frightened, correct?
Yes, it helps to know that. and if you
Helps to know that there's a mothership and that you are grounded by the mothership. So,
and the mothership is not all of the beneficence of the universe.
No, it is not.
That is boundless. And if you don't know that, if you don't have that grounding, you will eventually. But it's when you resist, let me put it this way, when you are in anger or jealousy, resentment, and you don't know that this is a part of your personality and that you can shift your attention to a part that's grateful or appreciative or in awe of the universe or patience, then you're trapped in that little mini climate.
Right.
And it's hell. It's very painful. But when you know that that experience is presented to you in the Earth School for a reason, and that reason is for you to experience it fully, not to deny an emotion, repress it, ever.
Not to resist it.
But to feel it, and while you're feeling it, choose the healthiest part of your personality that you can to respond from.
Choose love.
Yes.
So out of the 36 shows that we taped with Gary, the one that stands out for many people and that continues to resonate with me was about how to get your power back. We did a show on how to get your power back. And I heard that it's the show that you also get asked about the most. We met a couple, Jody and Ira were their names, who had recently lost one of their twin sons. Twins born, and just 4 days after he was born, baby Ryan died. Understandably, this couple was trapped in their own grief and couldn't see a way out or a life beyond what they had endured. Anybody who's ever lost a child or close family member knows, particularly if it's a child. They were suffering and also feeling this overwhelming loss of control, is what she had said to us earlier in the show. He died, as I said, after being only 4 days old. So I want us to just watch this conversation. This was an eye-opening conversation for many people about the soul. Take a look.
This is a matter of perspective. The perspective of the personality or the perspective of the soul. From the perspective of the soul, interactions between personalities are meaningful. And every soul comes into the Earth School when it chooses, and every personality or soul leaves the Earth School when it chooses. If you look at Ryan as a personality who lived for a few days and then encountered tragic circumstances and died, then you are looking from the point of view of a personality. If you look at Ryan as a soul, like yourself, like Ira, like Oprah, like me, like everyone on this earth that left this earth when it chose, then you will have a different perspective. You will be able to see the gifts that this soul offered to you during its short stay on the earth. You will reach a place in your life where you are grateful that this soul chose to be with you for however short a time. If you do not, you will live your life in anguish, thinking that a tragedy has occurred. Whenever you see your other son growing up, you will say, Ryan should be here. When he graduates from high school, you say, Ryan should have graduated. When he finds his wife, you will say, Ryan should be getting married too. And through all of this time, you will be imposing on your other son a burden to carry, because no matter what he does or how successful he is, he will be causing mommy pain. If you look at Ryan as a soul, a great soul like yourself, who voluntarily entered the Earth School and voluntarily left it in order to be with you and to offer gifts, then you will begin the process of fathoming and appreciating and becoming grateful for the power of the interaction that you had with that soul. And you will be able to receive the gifts that that soul came to this earth to give you, to give Ira, to give to his siblings. And if you do not, you will continually be turning away from those gifts. You will be denying the very wealth of wisdom and compassion that was offered to you by this soul.
Well, that may be the most powerful thing I ever heard you say. That's pretty powerful.